The day has finally come. Happy birthday, Cars 3. Wow. Just wow. Can you believe that Cars 3 is, how many? 4 or so years old now? Sheesh, it's been that long. Definitely has been a journey. All the way ever since then and all, I can still remember it feeling like it was yesterday. But at the same time, it still feels so long ago. Wow. So many memories I've had with this movie and quite a lot that have been coming from this film ever since then and all the way down to modern day. Through all the hazards of life and all the fun experiences from going to Europe to leaving and changing to a different school and going through the whole COVID thing, everything. And this movie's been there the whole time. It's really something special. Cars 3 means so much to me, mostly because of how much it changed things up for the Cars diecast selection. Our Piston Cup racers were no longer limited to just one set. It was now a whole total of three. Not to mention more fun with the classic racers and the Thunder Hollow racers and plenty more. Not to mention all the other cars that have been released. So yeah, Cars 3 is an absolutely awesome movie, and I really do love it. Obviously, I do prefer it over I almost said Toy Story, Cars 2, of course, but it doesn't mean I want to bash on Cars 2 at all, because I still do care for it. Definitely not as much, but still. I still remember the teaser trailers coming out and being very excited. And for a while, I was very much excited, but I was kind of almost not as much in a blow up excitement mood as I used to be with a lot of other movies that were coming out around the time, kind of like Night at the Museum 3 and Jurassic World, where I just couldn't restrain myself from getting excited. When something was coming on screen that I knew of, I would be so hyped, or if there was a teaser or trailer that showcased something I knew of, I'd be so excited and hyper about it. With Cars 3 leading up to it, not too much, but when I was actually in the theater experience, seeing the sponsors going by on the racetrack from Nitro to League Class, and seeing Mater talking to McQueen and the hauler, and Max trailer and stuff like that, I was so pumped and excited and crying a little bit. When I noticed that they were in the Motor Speedway of the South, for crying out loud, the opening of Cars 1, I almost couldn't believe it. Like, oh my goodness, we're back here. It's not nighttime, but whatever. Wow. And seeing all off to the Lightyear blimp in the air, the opening is truly magical. From the fun between Cal and Dusty and Rusty and other characters, it's just such a charm to watch Mater's hats before you know what happened. And just simply the music being used and the adrenaline rush and seeing all the stock cars on the racetrack, the introduction of Jackson Storm, the scenes with Chick Hicks and all the Radiator Spring Townie scenes, all of it is just so awesome. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. As I was saying about the teaser trailer earlier, I was excited about it as well as all the other trailers, and I honestly don't know if they revealed too much or just enough, really, considering what happened with Fallen Kingdom as well as other movies. Even Night at the Museum 3 suffers from this. So many of its jokes were revealed in the trailers. Ugh. But, whatever. The thing is that I feel like that teaser trailer was super awesome and I love it, but I didn't think McQueen was gonna die, for crying out loud. I feel like I'm the only person on the planet who was like this. I just thought he was brutally injured, ow, yeesh, what happened to him? I wasn't like, oh my god, McQueen's dead, and everyone's making sad memes about it or something like that. I wasn't like that. I was still cautious and caring, but still. And then when the movie came out, I was still really excited and just blown away. I came out of that with smiles. Because as much as I care about Cars 2 and all, it kind of killed this franchise's reputation at times. And yeah, it's basically a Jurassic Park 3, but imagine if Jurassic Park 3 had quite a lot more goodness that it deserves and stuff like that. Well, I think Jurassic Park 3 is a 5, Cars 2 is a 7 or something like that out of 10. 7.5 in my opinion. I'd say around that. So yeah, Cars 3 is definitely very important to me, and Cars 2 is as well, but I'm kind of repeating myself. I love the Doc tributes. I love seeing McQueen fighting his way back up to the top. I love the Rusty's Racing Center and the wall with all the history and images. I felt like I was being thanked for being a Cars fan and stuff like that. There's also this really terrible video, well, not terrible, but this video from, I don't know, Nitpicks or something like that, kind of, where he brings up Cars 3, and he said that they didn't bother with fan service because nobody cared. It's exactly why we need to get normie channels away from Cars. But anyways, I've forgotten about that video and I don't care about it. Also, what is he talking about? Nobody cares and stuff like that. Yeah, they didn't push too much fan service, but still, the little tidbits of it were nice. Anyways, I love the classic racers. I love the Thunder Hollow scene and how chaotic it is, and I love all the racers. I love Sally McQueen's relationship in this movie. It's such a joy to watch. Mater is also quite nice in this. And again, I think a lot of people have addressed this, but Cars 3 completely ignores Cars 2, to be honest, which is fine, I suppose. It seems kind of like a tall tale, though I guess it can be passed up as canon, though. But anyways, I love all the character usage in this film for the most part. I like Cruz, even though I don't really consider her to be the best next gen. Just simply as a next gen, I think she's weaker than all the others, in my opinion. Something that's important to note is that the ending was kind of spoiled to me thanks to a book that Leo Kim Video made years ago. And yeah, I kind of watched that video before I watched the movie, so that's a darn shame. And I remember collecting cars on May 1st and how excited I was. Again, seeing a poster with all the reveals and everything, scouring to find different cars and collecting more and more was such fun. And also some people brought up the fact that maybe Disney was having meddling with this movie, making it so it was more girl power friendly or whatever, with Cruz and Natalie and Miss Fritter and Pam, Louise Nash and other stuff like that. I get that. I don't mind it, though it is kind of noticeable at times. I mean, I don't mind it at all, but when you bring it up, I do realize this, and I kind of wonder, was Disney responsible for this? Because if so, this isn't bad, but it's just proof that they kind of suck. But anyways, enough about that. Driven to Win, I haven't played in a long time, but I played it quite a few times with my friend Evan, and it definitely deserved a lot more stuff to it. Seriously, only Cam Spinner and Rich Mixon, and Rick Yardley and Bobby, and that's it? Are you kidding me? Not even like a Cal Weathers or something like that? Come on. But yeah, that's basically all I have to say about that game. And there's also a lot of alternate endings, and I'm perfectly fine with the way the movie ended. Plus, it means that, if you recall from the way McQueen said his stuff at the end, McQueen's going to keep racing, but he just kind of passed off some of his legacy to Cruz as well, while still being his mentor. So don't think that McQueen retired. I don't think he did. Who knows? We'll see. In the upcoming Disney Plus show. And, what else? I still can't believe Rev Go Racer is still a name. They definitely need to fix this. I wish the poster kind of re-released Rev Go Racer so we would get an artwork and hopefully a name. If they don't give it an artwork, I'm going to nuke Mattel headquarters. Because regardless of any Thailand or whatever, this needs to be fixed. And if they don't, I think the whole fandom's going to be in shambles. And the start of my channel, by the way, started in 2019, and so much of it was thanks to Cars 3 and its influence, and the Cars community that I discovered, and all the friends I've made, and just how many characters are used by these people and stuff like that, like their OCs and everything. This movie is so inspirational for this community. I love that. Also, some fun facts and stuff like that. Years ago, I kept saying Carl Clutchin when I was writing down like the racer names as Carl Clutchinson. I don't know why. I guess because I was out of the loop in 2018 with car stuff, because I was barely ever finding things for some reason. And yeah, that was mostly just due to distribution. And because of that, I kind of lost track of certain stuff, thinking that Bobby Rotesta came out as a single. Which, by the way, for a good while, I didn't even know Bobby Rotesta even existed, for crying out loud. And when there was like images being sourced online and everything, I was like, who the heck is this guy? I've never seen him before. Because most of the stock cars that were revealed with like new sponsors were already showcased, so Bobby was like completely new and all. Not to mention Jim Reverick too. But yeah, what else? And also speaking of unawareness, in 2018, I kind of lost track of the next gens. Kind of like when I was looking up lists of them online and everything, I was surprised like, who's this guy? Who's this guy? And I kept getting cars like JD and Barry and Dan Garcia all confused at times. Kind of embarrassing, to be honest. I used to also think that intersection was said as loop and not intersection. I don't know why. Yeah, try to explain that one. What else? I also remember back when I was in gym class at St. Mike's, I remember when I was sitting on a seat watching the other kids playing basketball in the gym of the school and everything, I was listing down all the stock cars that I didn't have at the time. And I remember cars like Rev Go Racer, I think, and Jack the Post. Yeah, Jack the Post, before I even started my channel. That's how old this whole thing goes back. Actually, Jack the Post is right there. And yeah, I was thinking about that kind of stuff that long ago. It's really amazing. And I remember March 30th as well. Or wait, no. What was the date? It's on the tip of my tongue now. May 1st. What was it called? Oh yeah, May 14th. May 14th was the date that I found all these cars. Sadly not Broadside. I also found Roscoe, but it's the smaller version, as well as RV and Mr. Drippy. I was kind of too lazy to bring them out because they're packed away due to stuff in the way. But yeah, so many scenes in this I love. I love the Florida 500 stuff. I love the tractor scenes and the training. I love the beach scene. I love the King's Highway sequence, and I love the music used. And finally, I might as well bring this up. Possibly one of the most important things about Cars 3 to me. It's actually me, Dud Throttleman, for crying out loud. Back then, I didn't really think of much of Dud Throttleman before I actually got him. But when I did, the thing is that if you take Buck here, and McQueen as well, and you put them all the way with those cars up front there, all the way to Murray, you kind of have a little bit of low color variety with the stock cars. And then comes Dud Throttleman right after Murray, and the whole thing is just broken up, and there's so much color popping from Dud Throttleman, and he felt so bold and bright and colorful and shiny, and just so much more interesting because I didn't see him like almost at all besides this one sequence, this one scenario where I actually got him. Because I saw all the other guys just a ton, like everyone else did. Dud was a rarity. And soon after this, I found all these guys, and more as well. Such exciting times. And because of this uniqueness, I always found him kind of special looking, and then when I got more later on, I liked them all. And especially Ernie because of his unique expression, as well as a few others here. I loved them all, but they didn't really have the same candle as Dud Throttleman did. He just stood out, even with all the cars I got later on. And eventually I decided, you know what, Dud Throttleman is kind of a good representation of me. I really love him. And then ever since then, he's been my portrayal character. And I love Dud Throttleman, and I love this movie. So yeah, happy birthday, Cars 3. I really do love you so much. Really should watch it again sometime, shouldn't I? I should do that with all these movies that I talk about in these birthday videos. But yeah, happy birthday, Cars 3. Just wow.